Hey guys, Elite Legionario here, and today I'm bringing you a 5-player free-for-all on the grassy flatlands. And as you can see, I am in command of the Parthians. My opponent over here, Caesar, is in command of the Spqr Romans. DCH Pencil Freak of the DCH clan, I think that's how you say it. He's in command of the Gauls. Over here is Matthew, who is in command of the Julli Romans, and the host is Cheetah of his new clan Halvin. This is Sturmgeschütz 4's son. He's another fellow commentator, and Cheetah started his own clan and channel of late, and he does really well in this fight, I can tell you that much. So anyway, my Parthian army consists of 5 units of maxed out cataphracts. Cheetah gave us a lot of money. I also have 5 units of gold attack regular archers, 2 units of gold and experienced Persian cavalry, and my general is in this general's armoured Eastern general which is also maxed out. So my opponent here, Caesar, has 6 units of gold legionary first cohort, 2 units of gold triarii, and I think it's somewhere between 4 or 5 archer auxilia. So he's very well capable of defeating my army. First cohorts they're very big and hard to remove at times. Over here, Pencil Freak, his army consists of 4 units of gold and 1 experience on those chosen swordsmen, 4 units of gold naked fanatics, 5 units of gold barbarian noble cavalry, 1 unit of general's barbarian chosen warlord, 2 war dogs, and he's also got about 4 Forester Warband too, which just showed up now that he's moved them. No, gold attack, I think. And my opponent here, he forms a noob box, and I don't know why he did this. This will weaken his power of his archer auxilia. He had the range supremacy and he didn't use it. He squandered it. You should never do that. If you've got the range supremacy, you should instantly take it. Cheetah's army was an army that, as soon as I saw it, I thought, I'm not going for it. I didn't want to go. I decided to go for the Spqr player when I deployed next to Cheetah and him, because I just basically because Parthia is better suited to fighting Roman armies as opposed to Egyptian ones that are consisting of chariots. And these desert cavalry's got about 5 of those, 6 of those that are maxed out, 2 gold and experience desert axemen, 2 Pharaoh's bowmen, 5 Pharaoh's guards, several slingers, and 2 Egyptian chariots. His army would have made pretty short work of my heavy cavalry army. Here's just a cav killing army, so I didn't want to go for him in battle. And this player over here, Matthew, he has like 10 units urban cohorts and 10 units Praetorian cavalry. He broke the rules with that because it was CWB, but he didn't actually speak to anyone once, not in the lobby or not in this game, so I don't know if he spoke English or what. So he mightn't have understood what the rules meant because he couldn't understand the language. So the only real concern I have here are these triarii. If when I get into the battle, if they get involved, it can make my life difficult. But I see that my opponent's gone to Testudo. Testudo is really bad if you're going to get hit by a cavalry charge. So I'm going to capitalise on that immediately. I'm going to charge my cataphracts straight in, right into this Testudo formation. And his men will take a humongous amount of casualties at the hands of my cataphracts. So as you can see, 1 unit of them already routes. That's down to 33, so it just lost 90 men in that charge, and every other unit's down to anywhere between 80 and 60, so they have lost in the vicinity of 50 to 60 men from every unit. And this little floating legionnaire here, he became a point of interest and a bit of a laugh in this game, as you can see. So I just made a hit and run strike there, and as you can see, he has lost a humongous amount of casualties. What becomes sort of a concern for me though is I'm getting attacked by, as you can see, I'm getting attacked by the Gallic Forest of Warband, which when later on Caesar complains and starts swearing at DCH, at Pencil Freak here for doing that, even though he was actually attacking me and not him. But anyway, I charge in here and I engage in the front, and I'm confident because my upgrades that my men will hold. And now I'm going to finish my complete encirclement here and crush him in the middle. That's the plan. But I'm a little bit cautious here because there's Triarii hanging around the back, and I want to be a bit careful there. But as you can see, I'm getting archers, arrows piled into me by those Forest of Warband. So as you can see, I complete my encirclement, and the Roman army is going to be pulverised by my heavy cataphract army, as it's trapped and totally encircled. There's no way out, and he can't use his Peter or anything. So he gets destroyed fairly quickly, fairly rapidly by me. And the moment he basically rage quits and starts swearing at the Gallic player here, because for some reason he thought the Gallic player was shooting him. But if you just look, you can see all these dead Parthian archers, which are mine, were getting attacked by them, by the Gallic player. He was actually helping him. So that's not so flash. So I've managed to make pretty quick work of the Spqr player, Caesar. And I was feeling, when I did this, I was feeling pretty confident after cleaning up this well. And I get too big for me boots here in a minute. I go and go for a assault on this flank of the Gallic army, and it really doesn't go the way I thought it would. So my advice to you, if you ever win like I just did here in one battle, stay confident, but don't get overconfident like I do, because I really bugger it up in a minute. But the reason I probably was a bit rash in my assault here on the Gaul player was I thought Cheetah might attack me in the back, and his army is just a cav killer army. Chariots, these armor-piercing desert axemen, long-range arrows. He's just got a killer army against me, and I no longer have the archer units available to destroy the employ against this Egyptian army. So I react too soon to the situation, and it costs me. What I should have done is withdrawn away and let these two engage, and then I would have just probably attacked Cheetah then, because his army, in my opinion, is a lot stronger than this Gallic one. But it depends on how it would have been going. I probably would have played both sides, but I didn't really think it out very well when I was playing. So yeah. And if you want to, seeing as that's just, I didn't really show you this army before, as you can see, two of these urban cohorts are hugely upgraded. One with the general, and two of these Praetorian cavalry, but the rest have got no upgrades. But it's 10 urban cohort and 10 Praetorian cavalry, I think. So yeah, very much broke CWB, but I really should have done better than I did. I wanted to use my Persian cavalry as a sort of like a screening force for my cataphracts against this archer auxiliary. So here I charge as cavalry. I probably should have massed my men onto this cavalry, and what I should have done was gone after his other cavalry and his general, particularly his general. Here I go into wedge formation, hoping I can just smack straight through his line. I've done it before against Gaul, against Gaul with like Parthia or cataphract based factions, and it's worked really well, but it doesn't go quite the way I'd hoped. I really thought they'd like knock them down a lot sooner than this. But I should have been going after this Gallic general, because if it's a given, when you fight Gaul, if you kill their general, the chances of them routing have instantly become very high. It's just most barbarian factions work in that same way, but particularly Gaul. I do not know why though. So I'm trying to support this unit here. You charge in the back, but I managed to win over here and destroy a lot of his cavalry, but his infantry come in, and my men tired from the other fight, and they just don't hold out like I thought they would. So I'm a bit disappointed with that, but that's, like I said, I probably got a bit big for me boots there and thought I'd be able to do it. But when I play as Parthia, I have this love-hate relationship with them. I either do really well or really bad, never in between. I either absolutely destroy one of my opponents or more of my opponents, or I get destroyed myself. In this case, I did destroy my first opponent, but then I got destroyed myself. So it's kind of a bit of both in this game. So I'm about to be destroyed, but you know, I destroyed the Spqr player pretty handily, and I did do a good bit of damage to the Gallic player, considering how sort of ill-conceived my attack was. I did do quite a bit of damage to some of his infantry and a lot of his cavalry, so I'm not like unsatisfied. And it's always good to see someone try and use Gaul in a free-for-all. It's pretty hard. You've got to really pay attention with Gaul. You know, be very careful. So I'm out of the game, obviously by now, but I'm pretty happy with my performance this game. But Cheetah's in here. He's weighed his opportunity out. And yeah, he's got this new clan, Helven. I think it's like a combination of the Hell and Heaven ones or something. So I don't know, if you're interested in joining a clan, perhaps you'd like to join his. He's a pretty decent player. Like the rest of us, he's still learning some stuff. But him and his father are definitely good Rome Total War players and friendly. So if you know, after just a casual clan or something, I personally myself don't like clans. Nothing like personally against them, I just don't like being in clans. I was in one for a while and it wasn't too flash at times. Like, it wasn't all bad or anything, but all this silly clan wars and all that kind of stuff just annoyed the crap out of me. So here's our floating legionnaire. It was quite amusing. It's like the ground is up there for him. So there's a lovely field of dead Romans there, but then there's a horrible field of dead Parthians over here. Well, there's quite a lot of Gauls as well though, so I'm not like totally unsatisfied with that. So I can probably give you a more proper outlook of Cheetah's army. It looks like he's got mostly gold Pharaoh's guards, with the general unit being maxed out. 2 Pharaoh's bowmen, some gold and 1 experienced desert axemen, and 6, can't really tell of all those upgrades. I think it's gold and 1 experience, 2 experience. Desert cavalry are awesome, I love them. Great replacement for chariots. Chariots are just irritatingly OP, or overpowered for those of you who don't know what that means. The thing I noticed here that Cheetah does here is he sort of allows his, when he advances, his Pharaoh's guard to get very clumped up. That's the only sort of mistake I saw. And here, Pencil Freak was showing us this floating legionnaire, and he said don't attack, because we didn't know it was there when he was just going to show us, but Cheetah just attacks him anyway, so I think that kind of annoyed Pencil Freak a wee bit. But these chariots will just smoke any cavalry. But these Forester Warbands should smoke those chariots. So, and he's withdrawing his cavalry around, and now this is where Cheetah makes a mistake. He allows his cavalry to get caught up in battling the infantry and being too close to the archers, and that's going to cost him his chariots. But even these few chariots are just smoking these barbarian noble cavalry, so you've got to be careful of chariots. But this is what I meant about Cheetah allowing himself to get clumped. That's like a dangerous thing to do, because it means that you can get potentially surrounded, and that would be a big problem. So yeah, but the Gallic player is depleted after my cataphract assault. But these desert cavalry are an enormous advantage. There's no cavalry left for there's very little cavalry left for Pencil Freak's Gallic army, so he can't really combat Cheetah's army very well, and Cheetah's got the decisive advantage now. But this sort of thing where you let your men get clumped or move up in a column like this, unless they're going across a bridge or something, is not good. That's one thing that I would have exploited if I were fighting him with Pencil Freak's army. You could have actually quite easily attacked from the front and then surrounded him. But his desert cavalry are most likely going to ensure that he makes a very short work of this Gallic army. Pharaoh's guards are reasonable infantry. They're certainly not the best by any means, but they're acceptable. Egypt's got a very all-round good army though, in my opinion, an extremely powerful skirmishing contingent. Personally, I hate skirmish armies. I don't doubt their strength, but I hate fighting them. They annoy me. And but I've seen several uses of Egypt by Cheetah, so I'm suspecting they might be his favourites, which is fine. So anyway, this Gallic horde doesn't really stand up to these pikemen, but then again, he was kind of disadvantaged, I would say, in that he had no cavalry left after my strike, but he also could have probably been a bit more used better positioning and stuff with his men to combat this Egyptian army. But as you can see, Cheetah's going to make pretty short work of him, and this Gallic horde is going to go down. And that'll leave Cheetah and Matteo, the Julio player, who has not moved an inch. He's just stayed here the entire time. A lot of us thought he might have been away from the keyboard, or AFK as they call it, but we weren't sure. So that's that army's not upgraded up there though, as opposed to this quite heavily upgraded army of Cheetah, and Cheetah's still got a lot of his men, so but at this point I was thinking, yeah, Cheetah's got this one. But stranger things have happened where urban cohort are involved and Praetorian Cav. But there's still enough of these killer desert Cav against those Praetorians. So I'm going to triple speed it up here, guys, because this walk is long. If you want to just skip a few minutes until the end, feel free to go ahead. But he's just forming his men up, and he's on his way. So some pretty interesting battles all on this part of the side of the field. And to me, I do not like when people do this. They sit and wait like this. Here, I'm not sure what Cheetah was doing. I wouldn't advise doing this, allowing his cav to go way ahead like this. This was not a good move at all. He charges right into all these extremely heavily upgraded urban cohort, where his general is. I can understand what he was trying to do. He was trying to knock out the Roman general, not a bad idea at all. But he has completely isolated all his cavalry, and desert cavalry are just not good at taking heavy infantry in any way. He should have used them against these Praetorian cavalry and they would have done better. But Sternbeschütz has taught me he's still learning a bit here and there, so I can understand why he'd do it. It was a good idea to knock out the Roman general, that's a good idea, but using his cavalry like this to do so was not a good idea. Also, he was running his men there. I actually sent him a message in the game, don't run, because you'll exhaust your men and they'll rout much quicker. So, just a couple of mistakes there by Cheetah. But I remember making mistakes like that myself. What I probably would have done this fight is I would have used these two slingers as a peeler screen to screen against those peeler that these urban cohort will no doubt have, and then I use my Pharaoh's guards to engage and my desert cavalry to beat these Praetorians. Now I believe he could have beaten those Praetorians with his desert cavalry. He still had quite a lot of them, and they got a lot more upgrades, and desert cavalry are natural heavy cav killers, so I believe he could have won that. And if he had won that, he could have hammer and anvilled these urbans. Urbans would have held out for a long time, but providing he didn't lose too many of his Pharaoh's guards to peeler, which he could have screened with his with his slingers, and even maybe if any of these Pharaoh's bowmen, if they're out of arrows, they could be used to screen, but it looks like they've still got some. And then these desert axemen could be used to flank. So I think there's a few things Cheetah could have done a wee bit better here, but all in all, he's done well in this game. So here, Matteo finally moves his army in a very clumped up formation. I don't particularly know what he's doing. Obviously going after these slingers. He goes after these desert cavalry here, and he's going to catch them. Sheer weight of numbers will destroy them. But you see, this guy, to me, Matteo, must have been a very new player, because his whole army chases this when he's got this completely right here coming at him, and he just chases everything, and then only gets himself all messed up. But it was not a brilliant manoeuvre. Sending all these cavalry after chariots, not the best move either, even though there was only very few of them. And at this point, if I had been Cheetah, I would have rushed this Roman army. It's extremely out of position. I would have rushed it, catch it out of position, and then try and surround them. So I'm going to triple speed again, guys, because not a lot's happening at the moment. They're just chasing. So he's going to come back, and he will get time to sort of reform, but as you can see, well, he doesn't really reform, he just sort of clumps up. Again, this is not a good thing to do, because it'll allow, with his much superior upgrades, Cheetah can engage in the front and start surrounding him easy enough, and those Romans would rout. So they're about to engage, but you see, this is the problem. Even with the superior upgrades, the sheer amount of pellet these Romans possess could easily pulverise Cheetah's men, but he doesn't use them to that much extent, so Cheetah will escape destruction in that case. Here he doesn't move his cavalry, and they're going to receive slings, and they're going to get hit up by these Pharaoh's guards. As you can see, these urban cohort are hugely clumped and surrounded. The upgrades of these Pharaoh's guards are like way better. There's like no upgrades on these urbans. They've got no upgrades, so they're not going to be much of a match. And his flanks are completely exposed to hammer and anvil strikes. This cavalry is swamping this Pharaoh's guard. He'll lose a lot of cavalry to that though. He'll win, but he's going to lose a lot of cavalry. Here, Cheetah's men sort of forced their way through these urban cohort. I'm not sure why it did that. I don't know whether that was a mistake on the computer's part or a mistake on Cheetah's part. I'm not sure. And he withdraws his Praetorians out of this fight. And this is what I don't understand what he's doing. He clearly speaks to me that he must have been a very new player, because he just sits here like this with his cavalry, and Cheetah just sits here and makes repeated hammer and anvil strikes against these Romans, and all this Roman cavalry is just sitting here and does nothing. I don't quite know what that was. So these urban cohort are destined to see death. That's great. Upgrades speaking are doing most of the work here, really, because these urbans are far better infantry than Pharaoh's guards. But these Pharaoh's guards are a lot more upgraded, so and this clumped up formation the urbans are in is just shockingly bad for them. So these urbans will die, and as you can see, Cheetah will get to make multiple strikes with his cavalry. And he will inflict considerable damage. So these urbans here are getting destroyed. These urbans here are also getting quite a bit of damage. Again though, the Roman player, he's just sitting there, this cav, so this tells me he's very new and inexperienced, because he's just not moving them to support his infantry, which are getting bashed down by these far more heavily upgraded Pharaoh's guards. Like I said though, in like 95% of cases, Urban Cohort will make extremely short work of Pharaoh's guards unless there's a massive upgrade difference, which in this case there is. So the Roman general just died then, and as you can see here, even then these cavalry don't go after, I think they start to now, but Cheetah's going to get another hammer and anvil in, I think. And he's going to strike these urbans, but he doesn't get much of one in. Nonetheless, it's still a hammer and anvil. So these Praetorian cavalry come in, but they're going to get a face full of spears. And here, Cheetah will simply turn his Pharaoh's guards, some of the back ones, to face these Praetorians, and that will cause significant damage. But the sheer weight of numbers and the actual power of these Roman infantry and cavalry is enormous, and they're going to actually manage to beat this. This is their testament to the sheer overpoweredness of Roman infantry and cavalry. Even unupgraded against these heavily upgraded units, they are going to win this. But Cheetah's done extremely well. He's collected an extremely large amount of kills, which will propel him above me in kills. And this battle is more or less over, so I'm just going to triple speed here, guys, as the Roman just runs after and mops up some of Cheetah's men. But there's an enormous pile of dead Romans there. So well done to Cheetah. He did an enormous amount of damage to those Romans. He must have took down about 75% of that Roman army, about 80% even, in conjunction with about 80% of the, or 70% of the Gallic ones. So unfortunately, he must have accidentally terminated it here, but he got first. He had about 1,750 kills, and I got second with about 1,630, so I had about 120 kills less than Cheetah. The Spqr player got pretty cleaned up, as you saw. He had very little kills, and I think third place was the Gallic player, or might have been the Roman player. I can't remember. It was one of the other for them. So anyway, a good game to Matthew, who was the Roman, Cheetah, who was the Egyptian, Pencil Freak, who was Gaul, Caesar, who was the Spqr. Thanks for playing, guys. Good game to Cheetah. Well done to him. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.